Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it? A movie which, by the way, reviewed by my mother, the review was, "Thank God you were on early because we couldn't watch any more of that thing."
You got a wide berth here.
Well, this is a good scene. We're watching the infamous dildo scene.
You got trolled.
You were in,
I
too.
shut
You
the
were
fuck
in.
up. No, I didn't say shit. You got trolled. Corey
I thought you were
West just
stumbling
trolled
on a
you.
real script.
They didn't even give him a script when he got the job. They gave him a bottle of Stoli and said, "Learn this."
Did you stumble on the joke?
Talk about this movie for fart's sake.
This is a... We can swear. This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet, and welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. If you're brand new to Intoxicated, Intoxicated is a podcast where I have my friends on and we talk about life. Think of it like a cocktail of comedy and therapy mixed with a social lubricant. Oh my gosh. As of yesterday, marijuana became totally legal across Canada, and what a day it was. So marijuana is now being sold at various liquor stores across the country. I was unable to actually go to any of these liquor stores, but I did see the lineups and it was absolutely insane. I was also getting texts from my friends in lineups talking about how long the wait times were, but also how cool it was to be part of such a historic day. Unfortunately, I just did not have the time to experience that. Kind of feeling some FOMO about that, but I'll get there eventually. Super cool thing though to have it legal across Canada. I do hope to do an Intoxicated episode all about this very soon. Unfortunately, I just wasn't quite on the ball with doing an episode based around this for this week. This week's episode is very different, and I understand the irony of this, but this week's episode is actually about addiction. Not so much in regards to marijuana, but actually in regards to alcohol and drugs. So kind of crappy timing on my end to release this episode the day after weed becomes legal, but it is what it is, people. Definitely expect a episode all about legalization very soon. I do have some ideas for that I'm kicking around, and hopefully shortly you will have that episode. And maybe I'll do an audio diary all about it when I actually do end up going to one of the liquor stores. But regardless, I did tell you guys last week that there's a couple sober episodes coming up, and this is another one of those episodes. I'm so thankful and lucky to have had my friend Kristen on this week's episode. This one has been in the works for a while. We actually met up in the summer, had coffee, and talked about her story and her journey with addiction and recovery. And she said that she was down to come on the podcast and talk about it. And that's what happened. So we finally got together after I chickened out a couple times on her. And this is a great episode. This is very informative, very honest, extremely honest. So if you are someone who is a little more sensitive to stories about drug use, stories about alcohol, and also the rock bottoms that you face as an addict, just be warned about this episode because Kristen is very, very honest about the struggles she's had. So certainly if you are sensitive to that, just beware. But this was a excellent talk. It's one I think people should have more often. And I truly hope that people learn from this a little bit more about addiction and that side of things. I all the time get people asking me about, I'm sober. Can I still come on the podcast? And my answer is always, absolutely. I do not make alcohol a necessity on this show. I do understand that that's part of the branding of the show, but if I have friends in my life that have something to talk about and they are sober and they are going through that process, I am not going to turn them down. In fact, I like hearing the other perspective. I think it's important. There was a time in my life that I had some issues with alcohol and I got them in check, and thankfully I've kept them in check, but it is an ongoing process. And thankfully enough, Kristen is now totally sober. She is at a great place in her life. And so this story comes out on the positive side, even though it does get very honest and dark at times. She was the perfect guest to have on to talk about addiction because A, she's really open and honest about it and is willing to share her story, but also she just has a great fucking personality. There's moments of levity in this episode. It's not totally a downer. We are both girls who love to laugh and we were both very comfortable with each other, and that's what I think was really awesome about it. I am just really inspired by her story and the fact that she's bettered her life because she definitely deserves it. She's a great person and I'm so glad that she is now happy and healthy. So what's interesting about this recording is it is kind of split up into two natural parts. So I am releasing this in two parts just because naturally that's how it goes. For the first half, we do talk about drugs and alcohol and Kristen struggles with that and her road to recovery. But in the second half, we actually talk about love and sex addiction, which is something that I really want to talk about. So in a way, this was a therapy session for both of us. Kristen was able to tell her story and provide insight into the drugs and alcohol side of things. And then I was kind of allowed to bare my soul to her. And we had a really good back and forth about that. So it was a really cool dynamic. I want to thank Kristen from the bottom of my heart for coming on and being so awesome to share this really inspiring story with everybody. I hope you guys enjoy it. So a few housekeeping things. Number one, I want to say is that I actually did an episode of Intoxicated Reviews this week. So last week, me and Shannon saw A Star Is Born and Corey let me do an episode all about that. So her and I's episode about A Star Is Born is up over at Intoxicated Reviews. So if you haven't subscribed to that channel, please do so. Wherever you find podcasts, that is our second Intoxicated channel all about TV and movies. And check out the episode about A Star Is Born. Also check out our Patreon page. That is patreon.com/intoxicated. Patreon is on fire lately. There's a lot of bonus content up in there. Just to name a few, the Tinder takeover with Travis Lindsay, which is one of the funniest things I've ever listened back to. That's a hilarious episode and you don't want to miss that one. That one is up at the $5 level, and also I am doing consistent audio diaries as well at the $3 level. So lots to choose from on Patreon, and we will be recording some $10 episodes very, very soon. So check out Patreon if you want more Intoxicated. It's a great place to go and get more content, but also support the show. You can follow us on social media. That is Facebook and Instagram, Intoxicated Podcast, on Twitter at @in_toxicated. You can email feedback, questions, and comments to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com and subscribe to the show wherever you find podcasts. And if you're so inclined, leave a rating or review on iTunes. That would really help out the show. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoy this very deep and awesome episode with my amazing friend, Kristen. So welcome back. It's the Intoxicated Podcast here with Kristen.
Hi, guys.
Oh my gosh. This has been a long time coming. Like when did we start talking about doing this? Like at least 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's been
a while ago.
Yeah, a couple months. Yeah. I'd say. Yeah.
And we met for coffee. We had an amazing coffee date. And then Sarah chickened out. I chickened right the fuck out. I was like, I'm not ready yet. This episode might get a bit heavy, but I mean, I think you're a fun person, so it's still going to be somewhat fun, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll have a great time.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
And we're drinking tea today.
Tea, peppermint.
This is a sober cast, people. I might get a chain yard cider in a little bit here, but I don't know about you, but I've just been feeling like garbage lately.
So have I.
Yeah. So I've been drinking a lot of tea.
I've been drinking a lot of tea. I tried to give up coffee and drink more tea, and then I decided I wasn't strong enough to give up coffee yet. So
those people who do it, I don't know how they do it.
Now I'm doing both.
Now you're doing both.
Now I'm doing both.
Well, if you cut it down, that's something.
No, it got worse. I'm now drinking more coffee. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What kind of coffee person are you? Are you like just like a basic cup of coffee, or are you like espresso? Like, what's your coffee style?
Oh my God. So it's kind of embarrassing, actually. So Monday to Friday, I'm instant.
Oh,
Because
wow.
because I need to get that shit into me as fast as I
Fair.
can.
Fair
and then
enough.
weekends, it's like the espresso, nice espresso shots or nice Americanos. And then I drink probably about 5 or 6 coffees at work a day. And
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Holy shit. See, I used to be in that vein, I think. I've toned it down now to about 3.
That's good.
Because I feel like my stomach has been a little uneasy lately, and it's forced me to kind of tone down the caffeine.
Yeah.
And I find that, but mornings, it's like an absolute must.
I have to.
Yeah.
Like it's the and it might all be in my head, but I have to.
Do you find yourself getting headaches when you don't have coffee? Because that's like, I will get headaches when I don't have caffeine, and that's fucking scary.
Not so much the headaches, but I go into a daze.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a fog and I just like, I can't get out of the fog and I'm like, wah.
Fuck.
And then I'm like, all the joy in my life is in a cup. I'm like,
My life force.
it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I cannot write another Facebook status about my fucking coffee problem. Oh shoot, am I allowed to swear? Sorry.
Oh my God, yes.
I was like, I've listened to your podcast before. I'm sure I'm loud, but
shit, tits. Just get them all out at the beginning. I used to
Perfect.
do radio edits for CKDU.
Oh, okay.
Because we for a while there we aired on Friday nights on CKDU, and I just found it got to be too much because I had to re-edit the episodes and bleep out any swear word.
Right.
And then you never, sometimes like you'll look at an episode and you'll be like, oh, I don't think we actually swear that much. And then I realized that I swear so much, like even just in normal conversation.
Me too.
I'm just swearing all the time. And then like I was always confused because I was like, what makes a swear word? Like fuck yeah, that's a swear.
Obviously.
But like is shit, is damn, is like bitch.
So when I was a kid,
Bitch I say a lot too.
When I was a teenager, we would play drinking games and it would be like, you can't swear. We would be one of the rules.
Oh, that
And
one's always
everyone always had like arguments of like, what is a swear word? So basically we came up with the rule that anything you can't say on Sesame Street.
Oh.
So like
A lot of things.
but that was the rule. So you can't say shit on Sesame Street. You can't say, you probably can't say boobies on.
Probably not. Boobies. Oh man.
That's how mature I am. Like as soon as that word came out of my mouth, I started laughing.
It's a funny
I
word.
am an adult.
I say tits a lot.
yeah.
That's my favorite word for the breasts
Do I
area.
say tits? Like, I don't normally talk about my boobs.
No?
No. Maybe some
I'm the
other
opposite.
people's, but no. Well, do I? Like, I make comments about like how not adequate they are to the type of body type I have.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get there. I'm absolutely fascinated by the journey that you've gone on.
Oh, thank you.
So let's go all the way back.
Okay.
So let's go back to friendship origin. So you and I worked together at a hotel.
Yes.
A hotel in Halifax. A really cool, nice one.
Yeah, with really cool people.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I loved working there for the people.
Totally. The people were awesome.
I'm still like, I still want to hang out with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that says something. Like when you leave a job and you're like, I still want to hang out with these people.
Totally.
So, but we didn't work in the same department, but we worked kind of like, we saw each other quite a bit.
Yeah, and we were, I think we were placed on opposite sides of the hotel for good reason because we're both super loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
And like when you and I were in the same area, it was like
It would get loud
it
and
would get really loud and laughy.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because Rebecca,
Oh yeah.
I also stayed friends with. Like,
Oh, awesome.
it's this weird thing where, you know, like you leave a job and you don't see the person anymore, but like you stay friends on Facebook and you
Yeah.
stay like kind of like psychically connected to them in a weird way because you're seeing their life and you're following it a bit and you have like a respect for the person, but you don't hang out.
Right.
With Rebecca, I always felt like we should be closer than what we are.
Yeah.
Like, we don't hang out a lot because we're not in the same friend group, but like, I always fucking liked you. And like, why aren't we closer? And so I kind of feel that way about you too.
Same. You know what is so funny? Because I always follow you. Like, you know how you can hide people on
Yeah.
Facebook? Like, I've never hid you because
That's shocking to me,
Your
'cause
life has been fascinating to me.
I feel like I'm so annoying to people.
God, no. I remember one night. I remember one night, like, we had never really partied together. Oh, but prior to the party thing, I also love Rebecca.
Yeah.
Like, I
do
am
too.
so rooting for that woman. Like,
Yeah.
she's doing so many great things in her career, and it just makes me
badass.
so happy to see her just rocking it.
She's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic podcast guest too.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. She's great to talk to.
Yeah, I love her. She's just, she's killing it, man.
Killing it.
Yeah, super proud. It's super nice to see women just
doing well.
doing well.
And
like,
finding their
owning it.
thing. Like finding their thing.
Totally.
Because I feel
Totally.
like sometimes you look at people and you're like, they're so unhappy. Like they just haven't quite found like their thing yet.
Exactly.
And there's no shame in that because that
No.
can happen at any age.
But I think that's the big part of the journey, right? Is like finding your thing, even though it's frustrating as fuck when you don't know what your thing is.
God, yes.
And you're just like searching your life trying to find something that's going to make you feel better.
Oh,
But once you find it.
It's so true. What night did you were talking about a night?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
tell
the
me,
night.
tell me.
So we had never hung out before.
Okay.
And this was 3 months prior to me getting sober for 2 years.
Okay.
We ended up at the same party.
Oh my God, I think I do remember.
And I
this.
was such a disaster. And actually, this night at the party was one of like the most pivotal moments in my using because it was started my way to recovery. But I remember seeing you there, and I was like, I have so many questions to ask you.
Because was this Neil's party?
Yeah.
He's done the show. Neil. Yeah, Neil's done the podcast.
I was like,
That's
I have
hilarious.
so many questions to ask you because like you always were doing Facebook, Snapchat stories of
it
like
used to be Snapchat.
It
Now it's
used to be-
Instagram.
Yeah, it used to be Snapchat, and you always had like new makeup, and you had all this new stuff, and I was like, this girl must be rich. Because like
That is lovable.
and then
happy
you're
it came
like,
off that way, though.
and I know nothing about makeup or anything, but I was like, I know it. Well, that's not true because I know it's not cheap. Anyway,
It's very
and I was
pricey.
like, oh my God, maybe this is what people can afford when they're not spending their entire paychecks on alcohol and cocaine.
So was that kind of one of the first of many kind of realizations
There
of
was-
like
There was so
wheels started
many
to turn?
like seeds planted along but it was about like a year. But that was that party. There was also someone at that party that was sober and was basically spoke to me about being sober, and not in a preachy way, but in a you can still live life and go to the parties. You just don't have to drink or use.
yes, no.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the things that might stop people from doing it because they might think I'm not going to have fun anymore,
Right. Oh,
or
totally.
I won't be fun anymore.
Well,
That
I
would be a
thought
good one.
like it wasn't like I never thought I wouldn't have fun anymore, but I was like my identity is a party girl.
yeah,
Like that's how people know me. Like,
yeah,
like that's what I was known as, a party girl. Like just a bit of a disaster, but really nice.
Oh, and I think that and this sounds sad, but like I think that's why I liked you so much at the West End because I've always kind of felt that way too.
Right.
Kind of, we'll talk about the long journey with alcohol.
Yeah.
that we've probably both had.
Right.
When did the party girl identity start for you? Were you someone who drank in high school?
I was a weekend warrior,
Underage?
underage.
Holy shit.
I had, I think I started drinking like at 12. I remember I was at my friend Morgan's dad's house and we like snuck into his liquor cabinet and like put whiskey in a rocks glass and then like ran around a park. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah. And
Was that one of the first things you drank was whiskey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's not true.
That's
So
hardcore.
I think I had beer before that when I was younger, but like the first thing I actually drank was whiskey, like to be drinking. But I always found like booze, I don't know what it was. Like even I remember being 7 and I had never even had a beer before, but it was a really hot day and there was a beer like poster and I was like, wouldn't that be so good right now?
They do
Like,
look really good when it's a hot
totally.
day. Yeah.
Totally. And then
Yeah.
like I was found like I watched a lot of soap operas growing up.
Ooh, nice.
And
Passions?
like
Did
not
you watch
passions, but
Passions?
like Young and the Restless
Okay.
and Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
And they always had like the decanters full of like clear liquid, which now I know is vodka or water because it was on TV. And like they would pour it into the rocks glass and I would like imitate that too. I'd be like feeling like super classy. And by no means was I ever super classy. Ever.
You wanted to be.
Yeah, I really wanted to be. But anyway, so my first go was when I was 12 and yeah, we drank to drink.
Right.
And, yeah.
12.
But like that wasn't when I was like, oh, this is what I want. Like I drank and it was whatever. And then like it wasn't until I think I was about 14 where I became like the full on weekend warrior.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it was just, I remember we would always like muster up our money. Usually it was my babysitting money. And I remember being young in my friend's kitchen, at her dining room table, and I had drank vodka and orange juice, and I sat there and I was like, I feel so like I've just felt my whole body relax.
Wow.
And I was like, I feel so much relief. And then I'm like, looking back, I'm like, should a 14-year-old like feel that much relief? Like, anyways, like, shouldn't
it's
that
interesting that you use the word relief.
like, yeah, it just felt like, oh, everything's going to be okay.
Because me, when I first drank, it was nausea.
Like, oh, yeah.
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, I just need, like, I didn't really like the taste of booze at the time, but like, I liked the effect it gave. It wasn't until later on that I started enjoying the taste. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And where did you grow up again?
In Barhaven. Yeah, it's in a small suburb of Ottawa.
Oh crap! Okay, for
It
some
used to
reason,
be a
why
small
did I think you were from Cape Breton? Do you have a connection to Cape Breton?
Well, no, but I have a Pictou connection. My dad's from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, were you the type to like drink at like school dances?
Oh, fuck yeah. I had Southern
yeah?
Comfort in my like pants. Like,
oh shit.
and I thought it was so friggin' cool. I'm not gonna lie. I totally thought it was cool. Like going into the parking lot to drink and coming back. And then like I felt like kind of like DJ Tanner. Remember that last episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Wows. So that was high school. So you started young.
Yeah.
And you were getting drunk young. Like, so not just drinking, but getting drunk.
Oh, it was drunk. Like it was full on binge
drunk.
drinking. Like that's the only, I didn't want to have a drink. Like I wanted to get drunk. Yeah.
Did your parents know?
I'm sure they knew. Like my dad wasn't around much into my teenage years, but like my mom had stuff going on. So I don't want to say like she didn't notice, but she was preoccupied. I'm one of 5 kids.
That's a big family.
Yeah, and she was left to raise everyone and support everyone. And so like, I have a younger brother and sister that are 8 years younger than me. So like she was busy. Like
that's busy as shit.
Yeah. So, and she also worked full time.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's insane.
Like, and no
5 kids and a full-time job.
Yeah, 5 kids, full-time job, no help from my dad, no money.
Holy crap!
No. So she was a little. She was busy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. There's no. Honestly, I don't think even if like if I was to get grounded, that would have changed my path in life. Like I'm
very true.
Right.
I always think about that because I was someone who grew up strict and didn't drink until college, and I always think about the idea of like, is that a factor? Like if you start young and you don't have discipline, like how does that shape things going forward? And what I've learned is like it's just a fucking shit show all around. No matter what. Like you could have a perfect upbringing and then turn out off the tracks. You could be off the tracks in high school and completely do a 180.
Absolutely.
Like it totally doesn't matter.
And you know, I know I have a lot of friends that are in recovery or are in active addiction, and you know, our stories are all different. Like our external circumstances are all completely different. Like some people had wonderful, loving homes, and some people had the chaos that I had, but like we all felt the same inside. We just, you know what I mean? And we were trying to fill something. Felt like something was missing. So I really don't think, I'm sure like your upbringing might have something to do with it, but at the same time, but like certain circumstances might change that, you know?
Oh,
like,
totally.
Yeah, I don't, because I have my brother, he had the same mom, and like he's never had a drink of alcohol in a day in his life.
Oh, wow.
Like he has no desire to ever drink.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Younger or older?
Younger.
Brother? Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by that because, you know, when you're in high school, like there is a pressure to drink.
Totally.
There is an insane, and I remember I was like kind of the goody two shoes kid in high school where I didn't think it was cool if you peer pressured me. I was just like, why are you doing this? I don't want to do it. But when college hit, it was just like, bring it on!
Right. See, like that, to me, you're the cool person.
Really?
So,
I didn't feel cool at all.
Probably you wouldn't have felt cool at the time, but
No,
looking
that's
back,
interesting.
like I'm looking at you now and I'm like, that makes you cool because, you know, we're all frigging sheep. Most of us are sheep, right?
Yeah.
Like we follow. I was 100% a follower.
Right.
And definitely didn't have a mind of my own or anything. And I completely respect someone that doesn't go with what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. I think the fact that my dad was a judge also.
Oh my God, your dad's a judge?
Yeah, he's retired now.
That's so cool.
But growing up, like, it was just very strict, and you know, like I would hear of people going to parties and stuff, but like I just never could. Because I had curfews. And, and so I didn't really have access to partying.
Totally.
I'd be interested to see like if I did have access to that partying, if I would have drank more underage. But I'm kind of thankful for it in a weird way because it made college extra fun.
Totally. No doubt. No doubt. Like I was already washed up by 19.
Like I've lived a life. Yeah. Shit. What was like one of the craziest things you did in high school? Can you think of any like crazy things that you did?
Oh, like I did the stupid things. Like we would go out to like our fort because that's like how young we were. We still had a fort, and like my buddies and I always had mainly my friends were men like growing up, and like I had some girlfriends, but majority men, and like I had a group of guy friends, and we would go to a fort, and like there were rules on the fort wall.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Like it was middle of winter, and I was dared to chug a Mickey of tequila, and like I don't know about you, but like my self-esteem was like so incredibly low that I was like, yeah, I could do this, and you're gonna like me, and you'll all want to be my boyfriend if I chug this. Anyways. So I chugged this Mickey of vodka in under like 12 seconds, and like I was fine for 30 minutes. All of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, it would.
And one of the rules on the
no puking,
no puking in the fort, and like I just vomited all over that fort. And it was like you had to cross like a busy road to get home. And like I just remember like my buddy dragging me across that road.
Oh shit.
Like I just stupid stuff like that.
Stupid
like,
stuff, yeah.
Like I never really, like I didn't really get out of control until I was in my 20s.
So what happened in the 20s?
Like
we're going through eras.
So yeah, so my teenage years was pretty like standard for a binge drinking teenager. But it wasn't until I got into my 20s where like shit just kept going wrong.
Oh shit.
Like I just couldn't drink without getting in trouble. And I couldn't not drink.
Okay.
So there was like, it was never the alcohol's fault for some reason to me. I was like, I'm still going to drink. Like, obviously that's not my problem. There's something deeper rooted.
Right.
Anyways, like I did so many stupid things. Like I've slept walked before, like after a night out, and like broken into someone's room, like apartment.
From like being
being
you were
wasted.
drunk, passed out, and then sleepwalk?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And like, okay, the story is like I can't believe I'm talking about the story, but I've been telling it quite a bit lately. But so I went in. So my roommate remembers me going to bed, and then and this is before drugs. Like I had tried drugs at this point, but I'm not at the point where I need to do drugs and drink at the same time.
And you're living with a roommate in an apartment?
Well, I'm living out in Kananaskis in Res, so out in Alberta.
Oh, in a residence. Okay.
So I'm living on the 3rd floor, and my old apartment is on the 1st floor. Anyway, so I go to bed, and a couple days later, what I remember is going to bed. A couple days later, some of the kitchen guys come to work, and they were like, how was your trip the other night? And I was like, what? And they're like, your trip. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so they told me this story. So basically, I had gone down to my old res room. I'm not wearing pants.
Underwear? I
have no idea.
Oh, no.
I'm also like over 250 pounds.
Okay.
And I barge into my old res room and look at everyone, I guess. And then I go into my old room, and this poor guy is passed out in his bed. And what do? I look over him and wake him up. Oh, no. I don't say anything. And then I grab his mattress and I flip it while he's in it.
Oh my God. I don't mean to laugh.
No, laugh. Honestly,
that is, wow.
Yeah,
and you don't remember any of that?
I have no memory.
Did you, and then you left after that? Presumably?
I guess so. Some girl took me back to my room.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like and things like that were just
normal.
They
became your normal.
They became my normal.
Yeah.
Like I had a rule, like don't tell me what I did. Like I don't want to know. But still, it was never the option of not drinking. It was
Right.
no, like
That
that
wasn't even an option in your mind.
No, not
I
even.
have
It
to
didn't even
drink.
fade. Like it was like that was never the thought. Like I knew I had a problem. Like I was a problem drinker, but I thought that the issue was more deep than that.
Right.
Which it was, but like I just thought that if I could get to the bottom of my
What-
problems, then I could be fine. I'd be fine. Like
Right. Then the
it
booze
just-
wouldn't. Yeah, it's almost like you have an idea of, okay, well, I just need to fix whatever is going on with me emotionally,
Right,
and then I'll be a
right.
better drunk.
Right.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
Like
That's-
it's not being like, no, alcohol just does this to me, and it turns me into like a shitty person.
yeah, that was verbatim my thoughts. Like I'll make a better drunk. I'll be cool. But
Do people around you start, like, when did you start? Because I think that there's this thing, and I think a lot of people have this, and I mean, I make jokes all the time, but there's this thing with like younger people with drinking where it's like, you know, you joke about being an alcoholic. You're like,
Right.
"Oh, I'm such an alcoholic.
yeah.
And not everyone is at all. Like that, I don't think so anyway.
No. Yeah.
But then where's the switch that takes you from the joking
Totally.
to the, okay, shit.
Well, I remember being in my early 20s living out west and like I was out of control. Like I was always drinking. There were I was never sober. Unless I was at work, I wasn't sober. And I
So was this
remember-
like an everyday thing?
for a while, for a bit there. So it was every single night in for probably about 6 months in Kananaskis, and like
Holy crap.
that's 3. I was there for 3 years, and I partied a lot, but there was a window where it was every 6 months where I was drunk every night, and I remember like making an ass of myself, feeling the embarrassment, and I remember people saying like. That they used to party a lot and they were a bit older than me, and I was like, okay, so I'll grow out of this.
Right.
But I never grew out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I had hope that this was just a phase, but it wasn't a phase. Yeah.
So, like, did you have to self-reflect to get to a point where you were like, this is a serious, like, I should do something about this?
Well, I remember, so when I was in Alberta, I got to, like, I found crystal meth.
Oh, shit.
And I'd done.
How'd you find it?
Well, like people I was with had it. I was already doing drugs recreationally prior to that, but this had become a bit of a, I would say, definitely a problem.
Oh, shit.
And like I ended up in the hospital. One night I was coming down really bad, and I chugged a 26er of Bombay Sapphire.
Oh, God.
And I know. And I landed myself in a hospital, and I was there for 2 weeks not 2 weeks, 1 week in Canmore Hospital. And like they had put me through this recovery program. It was called Achieve. Anyways, and so I like went through this program, and I'm trying to like make these amends, but obviously I was like making the amends while drunk. And it was just so messy.
That's the tricky part there.
So, and then I was like, I thought like, oh, I only have a problem with crystal meth.
How many times did you do it before you ended up in the hospital? Or was it the first time?
No, it was a lot. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've done it.
Can I ask questions about that?
Yeah, you totally.
Okay. What was being on that like?
Honestly, like I just felt invincible. I felt good. I felt like I had no inhibitions. I was awake. Like I could talk about anything. It's like, okay, it's like cocaine on speed, basically.
Wow.
Like it's just basically gives me all
Amplified.
It's cocaine amplified.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. For me anyways. Like I can't speak for everyone else's experience on it, but that was mine.
Right.
I'd be up for days. I would lie my face off on it.
Oh my God.
It was wild. Like,
Jeez.
I don't recommend it.
No. I mean, like, okay, sorry if any family is listening, but like,
Mine too.
I've only done coke twice.
Okay, that's amazing.
Sorry if any family is listening.
You know what though? You're like a rare
Yeah.
breed. Like if I hear people that have not tried it or B, have like tried it once or twice and just never went back to it, like that's like wild to me, because honestly, like the older I got and the more I was like partying, like everyone,
It's so readily available. It's crazy.
yeah, like it's
is
like
the
not
thing.
even it's not even a taboo or anything.
No.
It's like, you got any blow? Yeah, let's go to the bathroom.
And there was definitely a time in my life, and I'm gonna make a statement here. I don't think I would have ever done it if like the guy I was dating did it a lot, and so I was exposed to it in that way,
Right.
And I felt, because I felt to be closer to him, I
Yeah.
should do it.
Totally. And
That's exactly like why I did it. And it was fun. I was just really like hyper interested in everything. Like
Yeah.
everything was fascinating to me. And also the no sleeping thing.
Yeah.
But also like I'm a hyperactive person anyway.
Right.
So I was just like, this is just $80 to just be a little more myself.
Right. Right. No, and I totally also get that. But like, I don't like cocaine alone.
Oh yeah.
Like, it has to be with alcohol.
Oh, with alcohol.
Yeah, like,
Interesting. I don't remember if I drank alcohol when I was on it or not.
I actually don't like any drug without alcohol. Like
crazy.
But so funny enough, the first time I tried cocaine, I was I was a teenager, and it was because I wanted to get closer to a boy.
Oh man, see?
Yep. Yep.
Damn. That's like such a root to both of our
Right?
fucking
like,
problems.
fuck, here's your codependency right off the bat.
Oh god. Shit.
Yeah.
So were you into weed when you were younger?
No,
too?
so
Okay.
I had this thing with weed where like I couldn't smoke it because I always thought I would pee my pants.
Oh my god, I have that with. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Because ask any of my friends. Just smoking weed is fine, but if I ever do edibles, that is my biggest fucking fear.
Right.
And I did salvia once.
Okay, yeah.
And before doing salvia, I was insanely paranoid that I would pee as well.
Is that the one where it's like you're high for like 10 seconds, but it's the craziest high?
You're high for like, a couple minutes.
Okay.
But like the stuff I did was like really old and like not really that poignant.
Right.
So like it was just feeling like super, super high on weed.
Right.
And also like
Oh.
the patterns of the chairs were like on the walls.
Interesting.
That was really about it.
Yeah.
Like that's really all I experienced. But like if you get like 10x, I think there's like, they call it like, there's like a number and then an X, and that's like the strength. And if you get really high strength salvia, you can like go to space and like just go off. Like there's videos of people on it on YouTube.
Really?
You can Google it. They don't sell it here anymore though, I don't think. They used to sell it at Mary Jane's.
Okay.
You could just go in and buy it.
Yeah, I remember people doing, where did I live at the time when that was big? I think it was Victoria was when people were buying that shit. No, it must have been Alberta. No, it was definitely Alberta, because I remember someone freaking out at the bar that we used to go to. But yeah, no, okay, actually I need to rephrase. I never liked smoking weed, but I did it.
To fit in, right?
Totally.
Yeah, 100%.
And I would smoke and go to class in high school. I'd go to Mr. Crozier's, what's his name, Crozier? Anyways, Mr. Crozier's English class, and I literally would sit there being like, did I fucking just wet myself? And then I'd be like,
the feeling.
and then I would be like checking and I'm so paranoid. I'm like checking. I'm like, oh my God, I can't get out of this classroom first. Like I have to wait till everyone else leaves.
Oh my God, I feel that so hard.
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you're saying, because, and there was one time that I was super high on weed and I did pee.
You did pee.
I did end up peeing a little bit, but I also have like my bladder.
I pee a lot now.
It's very easy for me to pee my pants.
Yeah, like I have a big laugh.
I was the kid that like would pee a little bit when she would laugh.
Right.
So like it's been easy. And there was one time recently. Oh, this is embarrassing. There was one time recently in Walmart where I coughed and a little pee came out, and I was like, I have a problem. Like this is a problem.
I think every woman in their 30s has that thought, because like I'm not had kids yet. Like, should I be having this problem?
If I was pregnant, it would just be like, oh, LOL,
Right.
pregnancy.
Totally.
But
Like,
I'm
if you put in Google, like, and you're like, I'm in my early 30s and I pee myself a little bit every time I laugh or cough, it'd be like, pregnancy. And you're like, no, definitely not that.
Like, when I say pee, like, I just mean like a tiny bit.
Oh, I know.
Not
I'm not picturing
it's
you,
not
like-
enough to like soak through my pants or
Right,
anything like
right.
that.
Not
My
noticeable.
non-pants. My non-pants.
Your non-pants. Like, I'm surprised you wear pants. I'm
not a fan.
I know.
For the most part. I have 2 pairs.
Oh,
You
like-
caught me on a pants day, but like,
Cool.
for the most part, I don't wear them.
Actually, to be fair, you caught me on a pants day because I wear dresses all the time now. So
oh yeah,
you know
dresses
that.
are. I mean, like it's just easy.
Totally, except for fucking nylons. Those things are the worst.
We're still and
We're back
still,
into nylon.
We're getting into nylon season. Yeah. But so you land in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
We're going back.
we're going back. So yeah, so I land in the hospital. I do this program, and I'm like, I only have a problem with crystal meth. I'm fine. And that was the thing. Like shit would get bad, but then I'd be fine a couple days later and be like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I did join a church out in Calgary, thinking like that might help me.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
I don't know why. I had no idea about like God or
Right.
like what that would make
Organized
organized religion. Like I had gone to church as a kid, but it was basically like, you know,
Catholic?
show face, no United. It
Oh,
was
okay.
like
That's better.
yeah, and like my parents would like tow all 5 kids in, and like we all got baptized on Halloween, like in front of the entire congregation. So it's like
wow.
it was just never really like a thing, like
Right.
because I was baptized when I think I was like 12 or 13. Anyways, long story short, I don't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I was like, well, maybe this will help. And then there was a girl I worked with at the time. She took me to this church. It was called Tequila Monday, and it was pretty cool. Like I enjoyed it. And then I obviously didn't stay sober. I was drinking, and I saw her, and I was like tried to hide the fact that I was drinking, and that still wasn't a red flag to me that like maybe I shouldn't be drinking. But things just like I was like, okay, well if I move, like things will be better. Like I
Right.
will. So I moved to BC, and things weren't better. They got worse. So in BC was where it progressed to. I was doing cocaine. I was trying not to, but I was doing it a lot, and then I found crack and smoked a whole bunch.
Did
of
you go
crack.
back to the meth after all that? Or
No, I'd never.
So
I
you
actually haven't done meth since I was like 22 or 23.
stayed away from that, but then you discovered another thing.
Yeah, I just kept finding new things that made me feel better. Like did the trick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what was crack like? I never thought I would ask that question.
Okay, so you know what's so funny? Like I smoked a lot of crack, but like I really don't think I got the feeling everyone else did. Because,
Really?
like, I got really mellow.
Interesting.
And like
that's something not what you picture when you.
no, and then like
Yeah.
it was funny because like, and then I'm like, maybe it's because my personality isn't mellow, and maybe that's why. But like,
okay.
but it really just made me tired. It kind of made my back hurt. But I smoked it a lot. But I found out recently that I probably never got my ringer.
What does that mean?
It means like it's oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Oh, okay.
But like it was mostly because like I smoked crack because I couldn't, like the guy I was hanging out with could only get crack. So I was like, well, I'll just smoke the crack. Because I was looking for coke, but anyways, it just ended up turning into,
It became available to you, and so your mind went, well, yeah, okay.
yeah, whatever. Like
do that.
I'll take it. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang.
I'm pretty easy to please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
But so it was, and then when I was 28, I remember it was 27, 28 was when it switched, and I could no longer drink without cocaine.
Whoa.
Like, at all.
Drink with cocaine.
Yeah, like I had to have coke.
So it maybe used to be the other way, like where it was when I do coke, I need a drink, but now it's I need to do coke while I drink.
Oh, as soon as I have one sip of alcohol, yeah. So I like even like, and I say now, but I'm obviously sober right now, and I've been sober for 8 months, but during my relapse, it was like I wouldn't even have a sip of booze until I knew I had my drugs, because like the thought of drinking without drugs like gave me like severe anxiety, and the thought of not drinking gave me severe anxiety. So like it's just
like just the idea that like there's layers upon layers.
Oh
of,
yeah,
like,
it's just a complete
wanting to be
mind fuck.
fucked up.
Yeah, like I need a certain level of fucked upness to feel.
Was
okay.
it like a balancing thing? Like
Totally.
Yeah, you thought that because Coke would be an upper
Coke's an upper, yeah,
and alcohol's a downer.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go fully down.
No,
and you don't want to be fully up.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be here.
I want to be here, so I self-medicated, and yeah.
I get that logic. That
I finally like
it's
I
not
basically
good logic.
No, but I
should add,
basically
but
spent
I get it.
10 years like searching for my perfect solution, and I found it when I was 28. Yeah.
What was the solution?
It was cocaine and alcohol.
Oh, I thought you meant the solution out of it.
Oh, no, I didn't find that till later.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't find that till later.
And it's interesting to me that like all your experiences with drugs were based around other people, the influence of your social circle.
Totally. But but the thing was like maybe I would say that that's from like that was more the case when I was a teenager, but like as I grew older and moved, like I sought like these weren't people I grew up with. So like I had to like pick my friends at this point, but these were the people I was drawn to. Right? Like I would like try to figure out who the cokehead was in the new group. Like yeah. Like I would look at people's pupils, and like if I was drinking with people I never really drank with before, like my hands would get like all sweaty, and I'd be like, who does cocaine here? Like who? Oh my God. So I like look for the signs of who's going to the bathroom a lot, who's talking a lot, who.
Did you get good at figuring it out?
Oh fuck yeah! And once honestly, yeah, we can all spot each other.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So do you just look for someone who looks high themselves?
Yeah, but you know what is funny? Because like people who don't do coke probably wouldn't notice someone was high on coke. Like, but like I know the signs. Like it's like a radar goes off or something.
Yeah, I've had moments in social situations where I've been like, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
You know, like drunkenness is a weird thing because, you know, there's like different types of drunk people.
Totally.
But when you see someone who is just very like, oh, what's this? What's that? Jittery.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
And it's like, it almost seems like ADD 10 times.
Oh, totally.
And you just think there's got to be some cocaine.
Yeah. Something's in there.
Some's in there.
Totally. Yeah.
That's crazy. So when was the rock bottom for, like, when you decided... When was the rock bottom? I guess that would be the question.
So there was a few things that led up to rock bottom. Like when I was in my 20s, so I would always land in the hospital. Like,
were these overdoses or?
No. They were, I am not strong enough to handle a come down. Like,
oh, okay.
I've been partying hard for days.
So withdrawal,
yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, but no, I never, like, thank God, I've never OD'd. I've never choked on my vomit. Like, luckily, any time that I have thrown up in my sleep, there was someone around, poor people that I would have to take care of me. But no, I never had those. Like,
that's good.
But okay, so rock bottom. I was probably about 29, and I was Googling AA, and my computer froze, and I tried it a few times. I was like, something's going on, but I was like, I just really never paid it any thought. Like, it would only be when I was like, oh my God, I can't live this life anymore. I can't pay my bills. Collectors are after me. Bill collectors are after me. You know, like, my friends don't like me anymore. Like, my family wants nothing to do with me and all this. And like, my sister really didn't want me around her children. And like, it's just, you know, like, it's just, and it wasn't because like I would show up to family events fucked up. It was like, I just didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about anyone but myself.
Right.
And that was a common thing in my family. Like, my sisters would always bitch to me about that. Like, I had cousins that like tell my sister that They didn't like me because I just don't care about anyone but myself. And like, fair enough. Like, they were right. I hated hearing it at the time. I was like, well, fuck you.
Right.
But it's totally true. But anyways, as I got older, I was 30 and I was like, I have also missed a lot of work. Like, I'd show up to work drunk. I had showed up to that hotel we worked at drunk together. You and I weren't drunk.
Yeah.
That's where we worked together.
Yeah.
So like, there were all these things that were happening, but and I always like chalked it up to someone else's fault or like for some reason I could never take blame. Excuses. I had excuses for everything.
Would you say that when you were in this this time in your life, did you become an expert at making up excuses?
Well, no, I think I was better at making up excuses when I was in my early 20s, but like it got to a point where I was like, I can't lie anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't even believe my lies anymore.
Right.
Like I could start seeing that I was more transparent than I ever thought.
Right.
I was like, people are catching on. Like, people aren't stupid.
Right.
Right. Like, and I had such a big fear of being exposed. So like, it went from not giving a fuck to caring so much. Like, caring so much what people thought about me, people knowing I was lying to them, people knowing I was so broke. And like, it was just like, my brain was always a mess. Like, it was always constant turmoil in my brain. Like, do people know that I've taken out payday loans? Do people know that creditors are calling my family and like my work? And I'm just like, oh my God, like, it just, people are going to know all the shitty things I've done. And there were some things on the nights that I would like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but like, it got so bad where I thought I like sexually assaulted a man.
Oh shit.
Turns out I didn't, thank God. But
when you're in that state of mind,
but I had no idea. Like, I had no idea. So it was just, anyways. So it was just
Holy
like, and
fuck.
all these things have piled up, and I am 32. So 30 years old. Okay. So this is probably not the dumbest thing, but this is one of the dumb things I've done. So I was at home getting super fucked up by myself, and someone called my phone, and it was a wrong number.
Yeah.
And anyways, I ended up talking to these guys on the wrong number, and they were like, come out and party with us in Clayton Park.
Oh my God.
So I went out to Clayton Park, totally partying like I do. So I'm like, this is awesome. Anyways, I pass out and I wake up and like they're touching me. Yeah. Anyways, but the thing was like, that didn't
affect you
affect me
at the time.
It didn't affect me. At least I didn't think it
was
affected
that
me.
because you were so fucked up, or because you didn't care?
I didn't care.
That's
I was so
crazy.
disconnected with myself and life that like I didn't care. Like there was a dick in my mouth that I woke up to.
God. Well, yeah, you were sexually assaulted. You were straight up.
So, and then I leave. I take a cab, and I did wake up, and I fucking smart ass that I am. I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, by the way, you didn't have to fucking wait till I was sleeping. And I laughed, and I basically joked about it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Like, I totally
That's
joked about
that
it.
level of self-destruction.
Totally.
Like, where it's fun to you.
Totally. It was just like, yeah, exactly. And then, so that was in a condo complex in Clayton Park. Anyway, so like I find my way out of it, but rock bottom happened 2 years later. I was in I found myself, I woke up. Okay. So I came to after a night out. I woke up in a bed with 3 or 4 people in there. Well, I came to, I can't say I woke up because I don't know. But I came to, and there was about 3 or 4 people in the bed, and I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I didn't know whether like I instigated this or I was a victim. I didn't know anything. Oh my God. So I got my fucking ass out of there, and I couldn't even afford a cab ride home. Like, I'm 32 and I'm calling my 22-year-old roommate to basically rescue me. And I called my girlfriend the next day, and I was like, and I always had this thing where if I like talked about what I remembered to people, like the shame, like, I'd feel better. And usually it worked. And this, like, and I had friends tell me so many times, and this friend has told me so many times, like, you are out of control.
Right.
Like, you're just, but she was like, I'm done. She's
yeah.
like, I can't.
I was going to ask how your friends around you reacted to all this.
Some people, like, so that's the thing. Like, I kept a lot of people at arm's length. Like
Yeah.
I really never like
You probably wouldn't tell
got-
everybody about the full extent.
Yeah, not everyone knew everything.
Yeah.
There were people, everything I had ever done and I remembered was known to someone, but no one ever knew everything.
Right.
So like people might have just thought that I like had, right? So I
They knew
divvied it up.
chunks of the story,
Yeah.
but they never knew the full story.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, and obviously I had been so a year prior to that rock bottom, that was when I was like, things need to change, Kristen, you need to get your fucking shit together. And it just got worse. Like life just got even worse. Once I started trying to control everything on my own and making like cut down, it just was worse. It was like the more I tried, the less fucks I gave. Right? Like it was so weird. So 32, July 15th, 2015 was my rock bottom. And I got sober. I joined a 12-step program, did what was suggested to me, and I started to feel better. And I stayed sober for 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And life just started changing after that. But that was my rock bottom.
Was your first couple, what was like the first early stages of being sober like? Was that rough as fuck?
Oh my fucking God.
I can't imagine.
It was so bizarre because like I knew my behavior was self-destructive, but I really wouldn't have called myself an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't I knew I partied a lot. I knew people my age didn't party like I did. Like, but I still did not, I didn't identify as an alcoholic or drug addict. So the first 3 months so I didn't really think it was going to be that hard. I was just going to be like, I'll stay. But
yeah.
Okay. So for the first 3 months was so fucking weird. I couldn't speak properly.
Oh,
words did not come out of my mouth properly. I could not convey the thoughts in my head. I couldn't walk properly. It was really bizarre. Like, because I wasn't someone that was an around the clock drinker. I was I didn't like wake up and drink.
Right.
Was
it mostly nights?
It was mostly nights, but I mean, I would like go into days and like,
and you'd probably
continue drinking.
Probably like in the evening, and it would,
it was like binge drinking, but like on a need to be, like I had to.
And binge drinking, that's when so like when you binge drink, it's just when you drink a lot all at once, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I've been binge drank like 3 or 4 times a week.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Like, it was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, let's go.
Like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Like, and it was like, didn't matter what kind of day it was. If it was raining, I would want to drink. If it was sunny, I'd want to drink. If I got off work early, I'd want to drink. If I had to work late, I'd want to drink.
Yeah.
Like it was just
drink
everything.
to feel good, drink to feel better.
Totally. I
Drink
feel
to
good
celebrate.
keep drinking. Yeah, exactly.
There's always a reason.
Yeah. So for the first 3 months, okay.
Yeah.
It was weird. So I couldn't speak. I couldn't walk properly. I became very isolated. And this might be you might need to put a warning on what I'm about to say, but I was incredibly obsessed with watching bridge jumps.
Oh shit.
For 3 months. That's what I did. I basically played Candy Crush and watched bridge jumping. I went to meetings and
You mean watching videos of people jumping off bridges?
to kill themselves. It was so messed up. So like you can edit this out if you.
No, I mean that's very real. Oddly enough, I kind of watch those sometimes.
It was all
when I'm feeling pretty fucked up. I'll go down weird rabbit holes
Totally.
like that on YouTube.
Totally.
And it's this weird dark.
I was
a
in a
weird
very
fascination
dark
with it.
place.
Yeah, that's insane.
And like I felt like I felt really bad for the people around me. I felt the world owed me for not drinking. Like it was really weird. Like I had friends visiting from BC. We were going to our girlfriend's wedding in PEI, and I was such a terrible person to them. Like I was like, I'm on vacation. I should be able to do what I want to do. Like they were on vacation too, and it was like I was just such a horrible person.
Damn.
Like, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. But man, I made it, like, I got through it. So.
And then they knew what you were going through.
They knew what I was going through. Like, I kept it kind of quiet. Like, so I had said I was going to stop drinking before.
Yeah.
So I basically, and people were so sick of my empty promises. I always had these big plans of what I was going to do with my life, and like nothing, I never had any follow through or anything. So, this time I didn't say anything to anyone really. I just kept it very quiet.
It's good though. In a way, I think.
Because I was like, you know what? I'm just so sick of disappointing people. Like, that's all I do is disappoint people.
Oh my God. I feel that. I mean, my experience with booze, I mean, I went to one AA meeting, but like you saying stuff like that resonates really hard with me, even though what I went through is like 1/80th of what you went through. Like, it's like not anywhere near the scale, but it's a similar, it's like a snowballing effect in a way.
It totally is.
Because like when I was really bad with booze back a couple years ago, like, it would snowball. So like I would do something fucked up or like not right.
Right.
Or say something to someone I loved. You know, like, it's like you're hurting the people you love the most. And that's the weirdest fucking thing. It's
Totally.
not like you're being a bitch to like strangers.
Right.
You're being a bitch to like your best childhood friend since grade 6. Like,
Totally.
And like I would always snowball. So when I would fuck up, it would just snowball. I would just make it worse.
Right.
And then I would have this attitude of like, well, I already made it worse, so blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like storm out of the party. And that was my kind of rock bottom, was when I was realizing that I was pissing literally so many people off when I drank.
Right.
And I was becoming the person people hated at the party.
Totally.
Like, I was becoming the drunk girl that everyone wanted to leave because she was either getting too emotional or she was getting upset at everything or she was causing shit. I was a big shit cause. Like, I would find situations and like poke at them.
Right.
And to make drama.
Totally. Oh yeah.
Because the drama, I almost feel like, yeah, the booze was a catalyst for me to create drama.
Right.
In a weird way.
Well, that totally makes sense.
And
you're a chaos seeker.
I'm at chaos. I've said it a couple times on here. I feel like I'm kind of addicted to chaos in a weird way.
That's what my therapist tells me. Like, I'm totally addicted to chaos.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
But that's not wanting to disappoint people. That resonates with me so hard.
Right. So.
And that's such a tough thing, because if they're I'm curious about how people deal with addiction on this level, like especially friends, because there's definitely a point where I think, as sad as it is, sometimes you can't do anything and you got to walk away.
Totally.
But it's just, I don't know how you get there, and I don't know where there is. And that's the tricky part.
So honestly, like, the people who basically set up boundaries with me were the ones that were the big reason of why I got sober.
Right.
Like, the friends that finally were like, Kristen, you need to get your fucking shit together. Yeah. Like, those were the things that helped me. The people that hurt me. Like, that's what I didn't want at the time. And what I wanted was people like, Kristen, it's not so bad. You weren't so bad.
Right. And you wanted the benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
And like, those are the people I'd keep by. So like, I'd be like, well, it wasn't so bad. But like, it was the people giving me the hard truths that were like, okay, like, something needs to be. And I mean, there were hard truths along the way, and like, they started early, and I resented those people and I hated them. Yeah. But as I started seeing, like, holy crap, like, I basically had an out of body experience. Like, before I got sober, was like, this is your fucking life. Like, you're living in a crack house. Like, your life is fucked. Yeah. Like, I have nothing to give to anyone. Holy shit. But I never would have gotten to those points.
But you do have things, you just didn't realize it.
Totally.
Because you were so self-medicated.
Totally.
And so in that state.
Right.
And it took getting sober and maybe clearing your mind of all that.
Oh, absolutely.
To find that worth again, which is, jeez Louise, that's that's gotta be insane.
It's been a road.
So it was 3 months that you said were really bad. 3 months.
Really bad, yeah.
And then it just gradually.
And like things got better. There's stuff like I can in a 12-step program. There's 12 steps, and you go through those with a sponsor, and like I started to feel relief, and I started to feel like the obsession was leaving my brain. So that was good, and I started to feel content.
Right.
Like,
what was it like walking into that first meeting?
I walked in. Oh man, it was a Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Kind of late, anyways, and it was.
It's crazy that you remember the specifics.
Oh yeah. So on my way to the meeting, I have to tell you that in my first. Okay, there was this song that came out, and it was called Fight Song.
Yeah.
Hated that song. I hated that song with a passion. I was like, this is the dumbest freaking song I've ever heard in my entire life. But I was going to my first meeting, and it came on, and I listened to the lyrics, and I started to cry.
Oh, I got chills.
I know. And I was like, okay, like it just gave me hope.
Yeah.
So I walk into this meeting. It is, it's in a church, and there is it's like all men. Yeah, there wasn't one female at my first meeting, and I didn't really listen. I just sat there like and I basically stared at my feet and used my shirt as Kleenex. I was crying the whole time. I was bawling my eyes out.
I mean, it's such the thing about like the AA thing is like it's as soon as you walk in, it's this emotional experience, because even if you're not walking in there to talk or even to really listen, you're walking in there. Like you made the first step. You just walking in those doors is a big deal.
Totally.
And everyone welcomes you and they're like, thank you so much for coming. You've done something good today. And it's so fucking emotional.
Totally.
God
totally. It is
damn.
emotional. It's like, and it was kind of like, even that one step of going into the meeting was kind of, it felt like I was finally taking some sort of action.
Yeah.
Like into changing the direction my life was going.
100%.
Yeah.
So like what I always wonder about in these situations is, where do you find the motivation to keep going back to meetings? Because that first step is really hard to get there.
Totally.
So, and the withdrawal symptoms, in the 3 months and all that, all those adjustments are hard too. So where's the motivation? Where do you find that motivation to stick with it? Because I mean, fuck, sticking with anything is hard. I can't even stick to like a gym membership.
Oh, I know.
Or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's hard to say.
Yeah.
But like, so I've had the gym memberships and I haven't been able to stick with them, and but I have a gym membership now. I have 2, and I go all the time. And I think it's the same with meetings. It's like it became easy when I was ready.
right.
Right? Like I wasn't ready any time before.
Yeah.
So like that was like, but also like recovery became, obviously it was recovery and I was getting better, but like it also was a bit social for me.
Yeah.
Like
I was going to ask, did a friend go with you for the first meeting?
no,
or did you
I
go
kept it super quiet.
Oh, holy crap. You went alone. That's
Like I didn't even tell my
even-
roommates until I don't remember. It was pretty vague, but I think it was 3 months before I.
Oh, wow.
I might have to ask. They might remember better than I do, but I was not a fun person to live with. They didn't know I was getting sober. I just didn't talk about it.
Right. Interesting. Oh man, that sounds, hate to say it this way, that sounds terrible. What just the hardships.
Totally, it was, but and honestly, like I know this is gonna sound so cliche.
Bring them on.
Which drives me nuts because I can't stand cliches, but life is really great now.
Yeah.
And I never thought that was possible.
Right.
Right? Like, so I don't know if I'd be as appreciative of the life I have now if I didn't go through all that shit.
That's very true. Because let me tell you, like, you've come up and like all the recovery and the soberness aside, you've lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
You're running.
Yeah.
you're in a place in your career, I think, that you're really happy in.
Totally.
So like things are falling into place for you. Like it seems like it's been a 180 transformation.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Just from the outside looking in on you, that's how I see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I still got work to do.
I still got tons of work to do.
But I'm just like, you should be very proud of where you are.
Oh, thank you. I feel good.
Because that's no easy feat.
No. But it was weird, like you say, it's like, and I know it wasn't all, like I've tried to do all these things so many times. Like I've been trying to lose weight since I was like 10 years old. And it was just, and I don't want to say it was easy this time, because by no means was it easy. But it just was something I needed to do. Do you know what I mean? Like,
question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think being sober, so getting rid of the drugs and the alcohol, because it was making you feel better, because your body's not drunk or fucked up all the time, that it made you get out and exercise and want to do things more?
No, not for the first year.
Okay.
I basically used that first year as like a ticket to eat all the shitty food.
Because you're replacing it in a way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like I was literally going to the store and buying like 4 packages of Reese's peanut butter cups, like and eating 4 packages a day.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's okay. I'm sober.
Yeah, you're like, I owe myself this treat.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting.
I'm totally eating all your
yeah. I got brownies.
Yeah, so no, and I wasn't active. Like I probably was the laziest human alive. Like I would take the bus like 4 minutes. Like I didn't want to walk anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had like hit a rock bottom just like with my drinking, with my weight. And it was just I can't do this anymore.
Fuck.
I cannot live this life anymore. God. And it wasn't well, I guess it was. At first it started off being a vanity thing.
Oh.
But like
just wanting to look better.
I wanted to look better, but like I also like didn't want to like run out of breath going, like I didn't want to avoid hills, like like I would get sweaty like just walking down the street. Like I hated summer.
I don't blame you though. Summer's
like I just always gross. Like it was just super gross, and I just felt gross, and I couldn't get out of bed, and like I always had a food hangover.
Oh, I hate food hangovers. Yeah. They're the worst.
They are terrible. As I shoved 2 brownies in my mouth.
I am going to grab my cider.
I found snacks.
Yeah, there's snacks. But you look fucking phenomenal.
Thank you.
And
I feel good.
So were you ever, were you big into exercise ever? Or is this kind of more of a new thing?
I played a lot of sports in high school. Like I did the whole basketball thing, and I was a cheerleader, but I was still really lazy.
Yeah.
And I loved, like, food was my first addiction, to be perfectly honest.
Can we talk about food addiction?
Yeah, we can totally talk about food addiction.
Because this is something that's come up a couple times on the podcast. I had my friend Jay on, has an interesting relationship with food in that he's, like, very picky. Like, will only eat certain things, but it's actually, like, he actually found out it's a mild eating disorder, what he has, because he, like, there's certain foods that he just, like, he has a physical reaction to, like, he just can't eat it.
Right.
Me, I'm an emotional eater.
Right. Yeah.
Like, to an extreme degree, and people are like, oh, you're not big, so you're not addicted to food. And I'm like, I am so addicted to food, it's not even funny. I have zero self-control. Like, what I eat day to day. Yeah. People would just be like, you're like a 5-year-old, right? In a 31-year-old woman's body. Yeah, that's something that I'm still working on, and I don't know, like it's an ongoing process, but I think now that I'm in my 30s, my health is starting to become more of a priority. Totally, yeah. So I'm starting to realize just how reliant on food I am. Totally. You know, I had a bad day, so I'm gonna order a whole pizza and eat a whole pizza and a garlic finger. Sweet.
Man, I would crush full pizzas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like, and I could still eat afterwards. Like, I've done, I've moonlighted in 12-step programs for food.
Really? What does moonlighted mean?
Like, don't go very often.
Oh, okay. Like, but you've gone every now and then?
I've gone and done those things. And Yeah.
Well, it's this thing where it's like, when does it become an eating disorder? Because, I guess it's one thing if you're like, I just genuinely think, I don't know. Yeah, I eat to fill voids for sure.
Oh, totally. Me too.
But then I can go the other way too, where I just will not eat at all when I'm going through. Like, it's one or the other.
Yeah, I'm
if
never
I'm depressed,
that one.
it's one or the other.
I'm never the no eating. Never. I love and that's the thing. Like that thing with the food is so much harder than anything else. And like I don't care what other people say, but you have to eat.
You have to eat,
right? Like you have to eat,
and it's even more readily available than booze and drugs.
And like we all joke about it. Like if a thin girl like talks about like how much she loves food, it's hilarious. But if a fat girl does it, it's not funny. Like
I know.
Like
Come on.
Totally.
We're all the same.
We're all the same. But like food is my first sign that I'm not doing well in my recovery. Like, because I can tell the difference now when I'm eating. Is like I have a big appetite to begin with, so like it's hard for me to tell sometimes, or it was hard for me to tell. Like, am I eating to fill a void, or am I eating to feed myself?
Right,
because I need the nutrient.
Because bored eating, that's 100% a thing.
Totally,
I'm bored.
And yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But now I can tell if I'm eating emotionally or if I'm eating like to feed myself.
How do you tell that?
Because okay,
I love this.
If I'm emotionally eating, I cannot get the food into me fast enough. Like it is like I'm not even breathing when I'm getting this. It's just like when I was drinking. Like I would
just get it in.
Get it in.
Like it'd be like chugging a beer.
Totally. Like, and all I did was chug beer.
Right.
So like I can tell like if I'm not breathing while I'm about to put food in my face, like it's solely to fill a void. And then I know that I'm not doing stuff that I need to be doing to stay sober because it's all connected.
Oh wow.
To me, anyways, it's all connected.
No, that
to me.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
So you think 100%. You got an addictive personality then.
I think
you're on that.
So I don't know. I don't know how much I believe in the addictive personality thing.
Me neither. I don't know.
Because like I'm an addict, but like MDMA, Molly does nothing for me. Right. So like I can take Molly. Like I'm not saying I would take it now, but like. Yeah. Never did I get hooked on Molly.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like I never got hooked on it, or like I've never been hooked on. I'm not hooked on gambling.
Right.
Like I'm just an addict, and I found stuff that
filled it.
Fills it. By no means am I religious. And if people are like, cool, it's awesome. I actually have a lot of respect for religious people because. They have something, but I am spiritual, and that's basically like I was missing something spiritually, right? Like, so now I have a set of beliefs, and like that does help me. Ooh. Yeah, like I'm a universe person. Like if I believe in law of attraction and.
I kind of do too. That's as cliche and kind of hokey that book is.
Yeah, I've never.
I know that it's kind of a little bit much,
right?
But I do kind of understand the generalized concept of it.
Totally.
Because I think, the worst times in my life were the times that I hated myself and I didn't think I deserved good things.
Totally.
Yeah. And once you find that, things won't be perfect. I don't believe in that. Like, I don't think a positive attitude is just going to like give you every single thing
definitely
you need.
Not.
But it's just going to position you in a way in life that will hopefully open you up to more opportunities.
Right. But like negativity just attracts negativity.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right. Like, fuck. It doesn't matter. Like there are people in this world that I could go to and like say, you know what? Here's $1 million, and they still have a fucking problem with it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, So
that's so true.
But so basically I feel like I was born without like the feeling of like a power like inside of me, right? Because like it was a very young age where I lied for the first time. Like looking back, like I lied for the first time that I remember in grade 1. and I lied to my teacher saying I had a Santa Claus costume, which I didn't, but I wanted her to like me. Right? Like, I ate to console myself when I was like, I remember my favorite thing was I didn't want to hang out with my friends. I wanted to go home and eat ham and cheese sandwiches.
Aww.
Like, that was what made me like,
that was the comfort.
That was my comfort. Yeah.
And then it, and then
I never really felt a part of anything. I never really felt connected to anything. Like, I lacked connection. Like,
ooh,
that's basically,
a big one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
That's so, it breaks my heart that you say that you were born without a power.
Like, I
understand that though. I do.
And I don't mean it like, I mean it because, like, nothing that shitty could have happened to me that early on that would have fucked me up.
That's very true.
Right? Like,
I actually kind of feel the same way about myself, because when I look back at my childhood, I'm like, I was a sad fucking kid.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember being quote unquote like depressed or like I have pleasant memories of my childhood.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, people saw me as a cranky, sad child.
Right.
And it wasn't until like later in life that I was truly happy with myself.
Right.
So like, it's this weird thing where I feel like some people, they have to go on a journey to get there.
Right.
And other people, like, maybe they just don't I don't know
People
what it
just
is.
I don't know. Like, I
Fucking
just
bitches.
Yeah, seriously. Basically, something was missing, and like,
something was missing.
Yeah, because like there were shitty parts of my childhood, but like, they didn't happen until later. Like, my early memories were very happy.
Right.
Like, my dad was around. He was not a terrible human at the time, so he would because he has his own issues. He was a good dad at one point in my life, and like, they're really at age, how old are you in grade 1? Like 7?
Pretty young. Pretty fucking
Like,
young.
I don't think there was anything traumatizing that happened to me before then.
Yeah.
The it happened after.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I think too, it goes into wanting to feel understood and liked.
Yeah.
And the
I needed to be
validation.
liked. I needed people, like, I still have that problem. Like, I need to be validated. And like, I have it that less now than I have before. And like, I seek approval from people, and I people please, and like, that's
a big one.
I've lost a lot of that now. Like, I've come out of that, but
right.
It's still part of me. Like, I still notice it happening. That's my character.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's
a hard thing to beat.
Totally. One of the best things that ever happened to me with people pleasing, though, was finding out that it's a form of dishonesty.
Huh.
Because you're lying.
You're just doing things to please people.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You're lying.
That is it for part 1 of my series with Kristen. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a doozy of an episode, and we got another doozy coming your way. So please do check out part 2 of our episode, which should be out the same day as you're hearing this. And don't forget to let us know if you liked the episode. You can send any feedback or comments to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a rating or review on iTunes if you are enjoying the show. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and I hope you like part 2.